Okay, let's discuss one of these kind of two-part questions that seem to be giving a lot of people trouble. And this is the typical scenario. It's, could be worded differently, but it basically is saying something like you want to be able to retire in a certain number of years. We're going to pick 35. And then once you retire, you want to be able to withdraw a certain amount of money each year for a certain amount of time. So again, in this case, I chose you want to withdraw 30,000 each year for 30 years. Now, you found an investment that's going to pay you a certain amount of interest. For this example, we're going to say 10%. And then the big question is, how much do you need to start investing now each year into this account so that when you retire, so when you're done putting money in, there's going to be enough money left in that investment account that is still earning that 10% interest annually that will allow you to then start withdrawing that money, that $30,000 each year for the next 30 years. So, kind of think about it in terms of, a linear timeline, what's happening. So here's now, and you're going to start investing. And that's going to earn you 10%. And you're going to invest annually, right? You're not putting stuff in monthly, you're putting in money annually. And you're going to do that for 35 years because that's when you retire, right? So you're going to do that for the next 35 years. Okay, so now retirement. You retire. And when you retire, you're going to have some big lump sum of money in this account that is still earning 10%. But now you retired, so you're no longer putting money in. Now money's coming out, right? So this is, you start withdrawing. And you're going to withdraw annually, right? That 30,000, and you're going to do that for 30 years. And then we're just going to assume that at this point, basically you're done. You're dead or something, right? You're in an old folks home and you no longer need money. Something, right? Okay. So that's the situation. And you need to start thinking about, okay, well, the information they gave me is how much money I need, per year and how long I need that and the interest rate that I'm earning. So that should get you thinking about, okay, that's one of those sinking funds that we talked about. That's one of those kind of reverse annuities where instead of paying money into my annuity, I'm taking money out on a regular basis. And the question is, how much do I need to start with to allow me to do this? So that's where we go to our Excel formulas and we look for the one that does basically the reverse annuities, right? So here's our reverse annuity solve for P0. Aha, so it's solve for the thing I'm trying to find. I'm trying to find the initial amount of money I need in order to do this scenario. So I've colored mine with yellow to designate these are the things I can change and fill in. I don't touch the things that aren't highlighted, and then Excel does the math for me. Okay, so I put in what they told me. I want to take out 30,000 each year. My interest rate is 10%. And because I'm taking it out yearly, my N is 1, right? Because remember, N is the number of payments or the number of things that is happening in a single year. And I'm doing it annually. If I was doing it monthly, it'd be 12. Or if I was doing it quarterly, it'd be 4. That kind of weekly would be 52 and so on and so forth. Okay. And then how many years do I want to be able to take this money out? Well, remember, we need 30 years worth of retirement. Okay, so we do that math, and that tells us we need to have $282,807.43 in our account in order for us to be able to take out $30,000 a year every year for 30 years if we're still earning 10% on whatever is left in our account each year. So we can go back to our picture and go, okay, we've now found out the middle part, right? We now know how much money we need to retire. And that money was this, the 282, 807, 43. The 282, oh God, this is how bad my memory is. 807, 43. 807, 43. If we have that much money in our account, then we can take this $30,000 out every year for 30 years. And after the end of 30 years, the account will be dry. It'll have no more money in it. So that was our step one, is we were able to figure out, okay, that's our retirement goal. We have to reach that retirement goal. So now we need to step backwards and finish the question by solving the first part of, okay, well, now we have 35 years to get to that goal, right? We're going to retire in 35 years. So like we're 20 now, we're going to retire at 55, or we're 30 now, we're going to retire at 65, whatever it happens to be. So now we have to ask the question, okay, how much now do we need to start investing every year, earning this 10%, so that in 35 years, we will have that? And you go, okay, well, that's an annuity question, but that's like a normal annuity question, and I need to know my payment. So that's where I have an annuity question that I need solved for payment. So up here, my regular annuity question or function that's solved for payment, this is where I put in how much money I need, right? The future value needs to be the 282, 807.43 that I got from down here. My interest rate is still 10%. I'm still making yearly payments, so it's only, N is 1. And then I'm doing that for 35 years. So that gives me a payment of $1,043.48. $1,043.48. And that's it. That's my answer, right? So that's how much I need to put in each year right now for the next 35 years. So less than $100 a month for the next 35 years. And because, it's a long amount of time and it's a decent amount of interest, by the time I'm done in 35 years, I'll have over $250,000, which will be enough to allow me to take out $30,000 every year for 30 years. Now, that's not a lot of money, but, once you're retired and you don't have a house payment, you don't have a car payment, you don't have to hopefully pay for kids to go through college and stuff like that, you can live fairly easily on $30,000. So that's the idea. Okay? So I hope this helps you to be able to figure out how to do your specific version of it, right? All you're basically doing is changing the time that you have to invest, right? So how long until you retire? They'll change how much money you're going to take out each year once you're in retirement. They'll change how long you'll be taking that money out while in retirement, and then they'll change the interest rate. But, you can see that it's still the same process. We're going to come over here, we're going to do our reverse annuity, we're going to solve backwards for how much money we need by putting in the payment, the interest rate, how often we're putting money in, how long we're going to do it. Then we get the amount of money we need to retire. Once we have the amount of money we need to retire, we come up here, we put that into our annuity formula as the amount of money, our future value that we need. We put in our interest rate, we put in how often we're going to put our deposits into our annuity, how long we're going to do that, and then it finally spits out the actual payment that we need to be doing for that 35 years or whatever your example is. So that should help you guys figure out those types of questions.